Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, there. Hello. Okay, beautiful. Not ready yet, guys. We're good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm checking with our Zoom people if they're able to hear you.
Oh, okay. Fabulous. You want to do a Zoom test?
I just sent them a
I
message.
know. That's what we were talking about. Girl power. We love
You
it.
may want to just clip it onto your.
I know. I'm so bad about that. But I do have a blazer today, so yeah, that actually works.
And they can hear.
Zoom friends, you can hear.
And we're
Zoom
live on
friends.
YouTube.
Oh,
Oh, is this a mic
fabulous.
too? Look at that.
You have a mic too. Okay. All right, everyone. It is 7:47, flying JFK. So we can invite Lainey Teeters, our McGlynn Hall Senator, to open us in prayer. I'm super excited about our new space, guys. It's very elegant. Oh, yes, most definitely. That works. A little shower cap. Okay. Here you are, Lainey.
Dear God, we thank you for our opportunity to serve our ladies and trusted community. May we, members of the Student Senate, be servants of hope and instruments of great change. May we listen and lead with humility, kindness, courage, and love. May we develop a community that inspires all to engage in our daily vocation to be the truest brothers and sisters we can be. Through our dedication, we may call this community our family and this university our home. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Awesome. Thanks so much, Lainey. Really appreciate that. But so good to see all of your faces in one space. I personally really enjoy this space in Jordan. I hope you do too. Maybe get your steps in, hiking all the way over here. But I also trust that you all had a great first day of class for the seniors out there. Last first day of class, but a good one nonetheless. So yeah, really looking forward to our first meeting of the semester, guys, and would love to catch up a little bit more after. So we will move on without further ado to roll call. So I'll hand it over to Catherine.
Dan Bowden, Eastville. Isabella Garcia. Here. Daniel Schermerhorn. Here. Sarah Kirsch. Here. John Mansfield. Christina Escudillo. Linda Sukara. Here. Michael Mirahami. Here. Gordon Lyden. Here. Neil Casterton. Here. Maggie Allen. Here. Albertina Estrada Martinez. Benjamin Earhart. Present. Jason Thomas.
Here.
Natalie Ortega. Molly Straw. Here. Lainey Teeters. Here. Ahmed Al-Hassani. Here. Alex Rayler. Here. Bianca Burnett. Here. Carson Thompson.
Here.
Libby Messman. Here. Anisha Degura. Here. Michael Lynch. Here. Miles Kelly Sprosky.
Here.
Alex Kowalski. Here. Patrick Lee. Here. Grace Franco. Here. Teresa Salazar. Here. Henry Bates. Here. Blake Johnson. Here. Johnny O'Meara. Here. Renee Pearson. Here. Jordan Thuralt. Here. Sam Canova. Ricardo Cozes Garza. Here. Connor Delaney.
Here.
Rachel Ingle. Here. Madison Newman. Here. Aaron Benavides. Here. Grace Stevenson. Murray Bath. Here. Julia Orkert. Here. Thomas Davis. Here. Esteban Linares. And Karen Kennedy. Here.
All right. Thanks so much, Catherine, and everyone for your attendance. Want to keep us rolling with approval of minutes?
So at last week's meeting, we had a town hall meeting with Aaron Hoffman Harding about the new campus compact and to address any student questions and concerns. Thomas Davis was sworn in as judicial council president, and Madison Demus was sworn in as student union pro
Sweet. Thanks so much, Catherine. Any questions, comments, concerns on that agenda for those minutes? All right, seeing none, minutes are approved from last time. Thanks so much, Catherine. Executive announcements, pretty light today. The sweatshirts are in, as I've been telling people that I've been seeing today, which is very exciting. I unfortunately have a late class, so was not able to lug them here tonight, but Karen Kennedy has so graciously offered her car next week. So we will have them for distribution next Wednesday. Mark your calendars. They look beautiful. The embroidery is flawless. So very excited about this. Yeah, and without further ado, we can move on to general orders. I'll pass it over to Madison, but as you all know, the Constitution mandates we have a minimum of 3 senators on the Committee on the Constitution. We've currently got Michael Murakami, Ricardo Post-Scarza, and we did have Madison Nemeth, but she's now ascended to the chair of ComCon, which is a very exciting thing. So she will need someone to volunteer for this esteemed position. We can have more. The Constitution doesn't say only 3, minimum of 3. So if you all want to do it, great, but we need at least one of you. Madison.
Thank you. Yeah, so we need at least one more. So basically, I think last time that we had to fill like one of these, we kind of threw out nominations. So if anybody's interested, you can, let me know now by raising your hand. If we have more than one person, I'll put it into a little form and we can get like a vote so that I make sure I have enough votes for the individual. So any takers? I don't know yet, but it's looking like Monday nights. You are more than welcome to nominate other people. Are you okay with that nomination? Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Cool. Pretty low bar, too. Just got to get 50% of folks to vote, so all should be good. Sweet.
Okay.
Okay, we got 2. Any other takers? Lucky number 3. All right, 2 is sufficient. That's awesome. Okay, I believe Madison will just fill out a quick Google form that she will drop in the agenda right there, just like Thomas did. And then you guys can vote. Oh, good. Aaron's getting his Jeopardy theme song ready. It's beautiful. Thank you, Madison. About to be open. Oh, go ahead and play.
That's the wrong one.
Sad.
What's it called?
There you go. There you go. Oh shoot, that is my bad, my dear. Okay.
That was embarrassing.
All you. Ben and Dan Long. All right, beautiful. Madison lit up the dot, guys. And then if you just pull up those results, we'll see them come on in. Oh yeah, it's perfectly fine. Madison, do you have it set up? It's okay. No, you're totally fine. Totally fine. Yes, we do understand. We're going to do another form, all as well. So you can vote for 2 people.
I'm sorry.
Not a problem. We're just going to enjoy the Jeopardy music furthermore. Oh my gosh, Madison, you're so fun. Awesome. Thank you, Ricardo.
Unless you'd rather hear driver's license, but that's the wrong way to go.
I think I'm good. Okay, beautiful. It's looking great, folks. You can vote for as many as you choose. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, this will be our final 30 seconds of Jeopardy. Make your voice heard or forever hold your peace. Beautiful. Madison has shown me the official results, and it looks like both of you have received more than 50% of the vote. So congratulations, Ben Earhart, Dan Law, news members of ComCon. Exciting stuff. Yes. All right. We can move on to our next general order, which is a discussion regarding P 2021, excuse me, 03, a resolution calling for Notre Dame COVID-19 disciplinary proceedings to respect the principles of due process. I will invite Thomas Davis, Judicial Council President, official sponsor of said petition, to give a little preface. Fabulous. 10 minutes sounds perfect. Madison, we're on the clock. Yeah. For sure. Aaron's got it already on the screen. Yes, this one with the shower cap.
Testing. Can you hear me on Zoom? Okay, thank you. So I think most of you have read the petition by now, so I won't attempt to go through it. It's also 7 pages, so I don't want to read the entire thing to you because I think that would be a waste of your time. But I did prepare a little statement that I'd like to read just to sort of lay out the thought process behind it. And then I know Thomas has given me 10 minutes, reclaimable any time. I think people wanted Q&A from what I understand it, so I'll try to reserve some time for that. On January 21st, 2021, students received an email titled COVID Update, Testing and Campus Compact. The email, which was signed both by Notre Dame Vice President of Student Affairs, Aaron Hoffman-Harding, and Vice President for Campus Safety and University Operations, Mike Seaman, described updates to Notre Dame disease control measures and noted that enforcement of rules would be handled by the Office of Community Standards via a newly created expedited COVID administration process. The recently promulgated COVID-19 addendum to DULOC, a guide to student life, notes the potential consequences for failing to follow Notre Dame's COVID rules, which are formally referred to as the Campus Compact. 2 new disciplinary outcomes have been created for students, namely COVID probation and COVID dismissal. COVID dismissal is a form of dismissal with the opportunity to apply for readmission, provided the student satisfies certain criteria communicated to them by OCS at a time when they were dismissed. COVID probation, on the other hand, per the addendum, is a status that will render a student to face COVID dismissal from Notre Dame if they violate associated rules within the Campus Compact, including the missing of a single surveillance test at any point throughout the remainder of the spring semester of 2021. The addendum also outlines the protocol by which allegations that students have violated the Campus Compact will be adjudicated. This protocol, referred to in DULOC as the Campus Contact Administrative Process, has been the subject of significant backlash from students who are concerned about the potential for Notre Dame to arbitrarily and capriciously punish students who are accused of violating the Campus Compact without giving them an adequate chance to prepare and present their own defense. I believe these concerns are well founded. The Campus Compact administrative process as currently defined in the COVID-19 addendum to DULOC does not give students sufficient time nor an adequate setting to defend themselves against allegations that have been issued by the Office of Community Standards. The Campus Contact administrative process contains no language that guarantees students the right to a hearing whatsoever, and fails to provide for any clear mechanism where students can call witnesses to provide testimony on their behalf. Meanwhile, the language contained therein explicitly requires students to provide their full response to allegations on exceptionally short deadlines, 24 hours or 48 hours if a student faces COVID dismissal. After this, OCS will render a final judgment on a student. In some cases, such as when the university alleges a student has missed their first or second surveillance test, there doesn't actually appear to be any opportunity for the student to defend themselves in the written text. There's no language within the relevant section of the addendum itself that guarantees students a right to provide any sort of response. And as it turns out, students are denied the right to appeal any decision by OCS under this process, except when OCS decides the issue is so severe that the sanction of COVID dismissal is warranted. Just under 850 students, including myself, have signed the petition that you now see. Our concerns, we think, are common sense. The petition asks for students accused of noncompliance to have an adequate 7-day period to review all materials that are going to be used against them, just like a hearing would occur for non-COVID issues. And for students to be given the opportunity to contest allegations of a missing COVID-19 surveillance test. It also calls upon Notre Dame to guarantee students the right to elect a hearing setting where the accused can hear and respond to all testimony presented against them and where they can call witnesses to provide testimony in their defense. Finally, it calls upon Notre Dame to grant the right to meaningfully appeal decisions rendered against students by OCS, even in cases when students are not facing COVID dismissal. Mostly for the justification to the public, the email to students provided by Hoffman, Harding, and Seaman included a note that the campus compact administrative process would allow the university to act swiftly to address COVID violations. This is true. The swift deadlines imposed by the process will allow the university to unabashedly discipline students with breakneck speed. But swiftness is not the only pressing consideration in creating a just disciplinary process. But if Notre Dame does not make the modifications or any modifications to this process, such as those called for in this petition, the university must somehow justify that the currently defined process, one that does not afford students the right to a fair shot to defend themselves while generally denying students the right to appeal judgments rendered against them, is in some way fundamentally fair to all parties involved, including the accused. Thus far, they have failed to do so. Notre Dame, of course, has a right and a responsibility to enforce mask wearing and social distancing requirements, restrictions on social gatherings, and other public health measures that are designed to keep students here safely. But in doing so, Notre Dame must not skimp out on the due process. The campus compact administrative process requires a significant revision. And this time, I'll take questions.
Fabulous. I will now open the floor for questions. If anyone would like to raise your hand, I'll call on you and we can engage in a dialogue.
We can open up the Google Doc itself. I think there is a redundant clause in the actual call to actions, which I've noted in a comment, which I can't amend because I'm not a senator, but somebody can amend that.
Okay, that's fair. I do have access to the Google Doc, so I can definitely, if someone would like to bring that forward, can certainly amend it if you feel that's appropriate.
Can you share it to student gov?
Yes. Who is this Andres? Oh, wonderful. Michael Murakami, will I do that?
Thank you, Michael. It means a lot. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael. Did I see your hand too there, Danny? Okay, no worries. Yeah, Ben, go for it.
Share it with me, actually.
I know it was asked at town hall about potential implementation of a advisory panel for students, faculty. And I know Karen Hoffman mentioned you have all discussion on the subject. I'm curious when that discussion happens. To some extent, just because I feel like if we're talking about in the context of the petition, you know, I'm curious where that was an idea. I thought that was pretty one to bring up.
All right, thanks so much for that exchange, Ben and Thomas. I see Ben has a follow-up. Go for it.
So this one's for Mike. But reiterating what Mike Walsh said, great job on this. And very well done, very detailed. So we appreciate your efforts going to get this out to students. We're all, this is definitely a pressing issue, or it definitely was. I'm curious to know, in your mind, if we pass this, we take a vote on this and pass it, how would you see this playing out? Would you see that this hand is off to the OCS administration and then feed it, or how would you go about ensuring that, or how would you prefer that we go about ensuring that these changes just get implemented?
So there's a constitutional question there, which is, does this immediately go to Campus Life Council? Is it addressed to, in some way, the Office of Student Affairs? That is a Thomas question. So he can answer that one, or he might not be able, he might have to think on that one. But what we could do is, once this thing is passed and signed, if it is passed and signed, would hand it off to the Office of Community Standards. I plan to release a letter or send in, after whatever the vote is today, a letter to the school paper, and then to continue to work to build up public awareness around this, as well as to continue to work both in dialogue with the administration, so starting it off with this sort of policy baseline, and trying to ultimately, at the end of the day, use this framework to come up with some sort of compromise. I really do think that if Notre Dame actually tosses someone based off the current plan, it's begging for a lawsuit based off of what the stuff that I described in the 2017 case. So I imagine that something has to change. So I do see this as a start, and then going to OCS and the relevant parties and bringing in, whether that's an outside organization that does advocacy work on due process for students, communicating with them, and serving, having the Senate and having students serve in that sort of in-between role to talk with the administration and inform them of the issues related. Those are some various options. The current ways I see it is either constitutionally it has to go to Campus Life Council, or if it doesn't, it just gets put to OCS. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, no, go for the follow-up, Ben. Perfectly fine. Go for it.
I think one of the responses, I guess the subject was, I believe, brought up in the town hall, the idea of why is it such an expeditious procedure? And I feel like the responses you might get, reasoning, at least that I understand from the administration, well, due to COVID-19, due to how quickly it spread, how seriously it can spread, if a certain event would occur, like the party was posted, or if any unsafe gathering would occur, we want to take care of this as quickly as possible, prevent anything else from happening that could cause more cases to spread. So what would be your comeback? What would be your response to that sort of position? I feel like that's the position that they're trying to leverage that, well, it's COVID, and if we wait too long, things could get way out of hand and affect everybody.
So Ben,
What is, that's not, again, I don't get to be on the spot. I'm just kind of curious, what is your, besides this recommendation, I just imagine that that's what their response might be. Well, you guys I can't wait 7 calendar days.
Madison? It's at 11. Okay.
What would you say in response to that?
Yeah, the time did just run out, but definitely that warrants a response. So go for it, Mike.
So what I would say in response to that is, because we have this wonderful thing known as contact tracing, if the university, for example, is attempting to dismiss a student under the current rules, that even with the expeditious, it will take 5 days, right? It'll take, the student will get a notification. They will, then what they will do is they have 2 days to respond. OCS then, if they're instant in their rejudgment, the student then has 3 days to make an appeal. If they are not instant, if it takes 12 hours, if it takes 24 hours, well, now we've just lengthened it to 6 days. So I understand why the administration might have a concern about churning through a very large number of cases very quickly. But if the way you churn through a very large number of cases very quickly is you simply lower the student's ability to defend themselves, right? That's not the right way to approach it. I don't see a public health argument making sense, considering if these students have been exposed, they have to quarantine anyway, right? And maybe the university doesn't want to be on the hook for paying for, their hotel. I don't think it's a cost issue right now. But if you are going to just kind of churn through this really rapidly, especially on the more severe sanctions, I don't see this being a sort of COVID issue. If you get an email from OCS saying you've been accused of a COVID violation, I think that mere email is going to put you on alert and you're going to behave a little bit better in the next week anyway. So I really don't understand where they're coming from on that in a more practical sense. It sounds like it might have some justification in the abstract, but when you look at the concrete timelines, it doesn't. Does that make sense?
All right, thanks for that interchange. I know the time is up, but if we do have any other questions, comments, concerns, we do have plenty of time if you'd like to raise those at this time. Ricardo.
Mike, for the privilege of the senators, I don't believe you gave the figure on the timeline with which these signatures were gathered. Can you just specify what that time was and the number of signatures again?
So there are just under 800, between 800 and 850 signatures. Some of them have been coming in today, and I know Thomas obviously would not have gotten able to verify a signature that occurred like 30 minutes ago, so I won't attempt to give a precise number, but between 800 and 850 is what I'm confident saying. This came, when did this get released? This got released, I want to say, was it the 26th?
Mike,
Of
your
January?
first signature looks like the 27th.
27th of January. Okay, thank you. 26th or 27th of January, which would have been the day that you all met to appoint Thomas the Judicial Council President. So that's about the timeline. It's been about a week, a little over a week, that about 850 people have, a little between 800 and 850 people have signed this.
So, if I may continue.
Sure, Ricardo.
Not necessarily have a question, but you have an opinion blocker.
Absolutely.
It seems to be this petition is collecting a very substantial number of signatures over a period of time of 1 week, especially given the fact that we only had one full day class at this point. So I think this is representing a voice within the student union itself. I think we should vote on this. I think we should come to a decision on this. And I do believe that the voice of the student population may be leaning in favor of perhaps not being validated in the lines to share.
Of course. I'll feel that. Thanks so much, Ricardo, for that. Madison will give a recommendation at this point in time.
Oh yeah, it just sounded like you were ready for debate, so I just recommend that you motion to end question and move to debate.
No, that's perfectly fine. You just prompted us. Michael Murakami. All right, let's vote on that. All in favor? All opposed? Awesome. So we're now in debate on P 2021-03. If anyone would like to raise an opinion, feel free to do so at this time. Just a second. Yes, go for it. Renee.
I'd just like to say thank you, Mike, for creating this resolution. I think it's really well done. And I would just like to encourage us all to pass as soon as possible because I know OCS violations are going to struggle like super quickly. And I think that the sooner that we pass it, the better for the student body.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Renee. Ricardo.
Blake would be first.
Oh, sure. Blake.
So as off-campus senator, I think there are a lot of off-campus students that are particularly uniquely affected by the campus contact. And they're a little fearful about their own disciplinary situation. So I think, thank you, Mike, for drafting this.
Thanks so much, Blake. Ricardo.
Yeah, so repeating what I said earlier, apologies about my procedural.
Oh, no worries.
Great. But again, I think this is a resolution that speaks on behalf of a good portion of the body. I'm sure many of you will have spoken to say, and I think we should pass this on behalf of this good body. I'll do the motion with the debate.
I'm not sure if did they vote to amend, to make that amendment?
It was friendly, so it was redundant, so they're good. Yeah, Michael. Sure. Got a second? Let's vote on that. All in favor? And all opposed? Okay, great. So we can now engage in a vote on P 2021-03. And Madison is getting that ready right now to send out to you all. Aaron, if you'd like to cue the music. Awesome. Thanks so much, Mike. Yes, beautiful. Perfect. It looks like the voting link is live, everyone. I'll give you guys the duration of this 30-seconder. All right, thank you guys all for your participation. So P 2021-03 does indeed pass with 31 in favor and 1 abstain. So thank you all for your participation in that. Thank you, Mike, for your authoring of that petition. And that is all for today, folks. Pretty rapid, but I would like to invite anyone that has an announcement on this first day of school to please share it at this time. Yeah, Thomas. Thank you, Thomas. A good reminder we all need. All right. Yes, Murray.
This Saturday starting next week, so if you could email some and then me and everyone to get close to the forum, and it's going to be this virtual. Or you can respond.
Super exciting. Thank you, Murray. Any other announcement we've got to share with the crowd? Michael Murakami, I think I know your announcement. Do I hear a second? Let's vote. All right. Have a wonderful week, guys. It really was a pleasure to see you all. Come on down if you want to chat. I'd love to chat. We've got